Hello, Sagittarius. Happy Friday. So we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. You are healing from that fear, that anxiety, that negativity. You're letting it go. So there is a blessing here. The Four of Swords, this talks about, what would you regret? This character, obviously, this is a sarcophagus, right? He was a knight and now he's deceased. This is, the chapel. So, what would you regret on your deathbed? You wouldn't regret letting go of that fear and anxiety. You would regret not having done stuff because of your fear and anxiety. There are certain things that you would be, okay, so I didn't do that because I was too anxious about it. I was too nervous, too afraid. And it's okay, but there are other things that, if you were laying there as an image on top of your sarcophagus, as a stone image, what would you regret? Really think about that deeply. The Four of Swords, it talks about convalescing, resting. It talks about meditating and thinking deeply about these things. So these fears and anxieties and how they've held you back, you're thinking deeply about that. Then we've got the King of Swords and the Seven of Swords. So you're looking at what is going on around you. You're observing it and you're thinking about it deeply before you take action. The Seven of Swords is talking about you getting away from negative situations, negative people, negative thinking, negative finances. So you're planning a strategy to get away from that. It can also sometimes talk about overworking because of fears and anxieties. So if you were overworking because of your fear and anxiety, you could be looking for a plan and coming up with a plan, really observing the way that you're spending stuff, observing the way that you're handling your finances, and taking charge and coming up with a plan to get out of any sort of negative financial situations or any sort of negative work situations where you're overworking. Don't work yourself to death, okay? So then we have fairy magic. Fairy magic, it says, respectfully work with the fairies and elementals to achieve your goals. Respectfully work with the fairies and elementals to achieve your goals. And you can meditate on that symbol. And then we have thorn tree, the sacred sign. This is from Celtic Healing Oracle. So it talks about invoking pure intentions. Making the habitats of fairies. A fairy thorn tree is, marking the habitat, sorry. Dyslexia got the best of me. Marking the habitats of fairies. A fairy thorn tree is sacred and inviolable. Inviolable. Cutting down a thorn tree incurs the wrath of the fairies and invites calamity. A lone thorn tree growing in an open field or sacred site is particularly sacrosanct. In honoring the sacred thorn, humans learn to protect the sanctity of all life and grow in wisdom. So if you have drawn this card, you are asked to purify actions and intentions, reminding you that all life is sacred, including your own. So when you have that fear and anxiety, this card is talking about letting go of that, purifying your actions and your intentions. A thorn tree should never be disturbed in any way and sets a high standard for rightful action. However, minor impure actions and ill intentions harm other life forms, including yourself. So, minor impure actions and ill intentions. So, the way that you were thinking about yourself with that fear and anxiety, that was harmful to yourself. Living in accord with the actions of nature that sustain all life impartially is to live humbly and richly, gently and courageously in the giving and receiving of life. The purity of your actions and intentions, rather than what others think or feel about you, set your course towards well-being and acquiring of wisdom. So the purity of your actions and intentions, rather than what others think or feel about you, set your course towards well-being and the acquiring of wisdom. Because yes, the 10 or the 9 of swords, it has this sort of shame aspect to it. It's not just the fear and the anxiety, it has the aspect of being shamed or feeling ashamed. And a lot of times when people feel ashamed, it's because other people sort of make them feel ashamed of themselves. They put that fear and anxiety into you, and they put that shame into you. So you need to take time to reflect on what you may be overlooking or ignoring in your life. When you identify it, pay close attention and protect it full-heartedly. Remember that the thorn tree is among the humblest looking of trees, and that some of the most precious aspects of your life may not be immediately apparent. I'm going to read that whole little paragraph again. Take time to reflect on what you may be overlooking or ignoring in your life. When you identify it, pay close attention and protect it full-heartedly. Remember that the thorn tree is among the humblest looking of trees, and that some of the most precious aspects of your life may not be immediately apparent. Have a great Friday. Bye.